Great. Requesting the unfiltered team to just send a message on the WhatsApp group to let people know that we'll be starting in the next 5 minutes. For those of you who haven't gone through the content which has been sent on the WhatsApp group, do have a look at that. Those are concepts which are in relation to today's topic of rest, sleep, recover, and rejuvenation. I can see Justin has joined in. Justin, if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up in a comment box. Great. We'll begin in 4 minutes. Again, I'll be your host for today's webinar. I'm Bhagesh, the co-founder of Unfiltered Enterprise, who is in current collaboration with Mr. Praveen Kumar. We will be launching many of these collaborated webinars ahead in future as well. So do stay tuned in. You all can follow us on all the social media handles, Unfiltered Enterprise. Also do have a look at Mr. Praveen Kumar's social pages. Just a brief background about Mr. Praveen Kumar, who will be the talk host for today. He has personally completed more than 150 plus marathons. You can call him an ultra marathoner, with having spent more than 12 hours for Mumbai Ultra and 24 hours of Mumbai Stadium runs. He has not only accomplished a great feat in completing a huge number of marathons, but he's also been a proud sponsored athlete for Bajaj Electricals for the Pinkathon 2019. Along with marathons, he's also a fitness enthusiast. That includes him participating in extracurricular or any other obstacle races, such as the Devil Circuit, which is quite popular in India among the youth. He has completed the Goa version of the Ironman, which is an international triathlon, which consists of long distances of swimming, running, and cycling. He will soon be participating for the actual one this year and the next. So we wish him luck from our end. It is 3:58. We'll soon begin the webinar at sharp 4. I'll be introducing or be welcoming Mr. Praveen Kumar at sharp 4. Again, for any queries, any questions relating to the concepts covered, or if you feel you have a personal question related to your daily lifestyle, which is in correlation to today's topic, do put them down in the comment section. The unfiltered team is constantly evaluating those questions. I can see Johan has joined in. Johan, just give us a thumbs up. Even Dheeraj, a thumbs up in the comment box to let us know that we are audible from our end. We'll begin in a minute. Great. So, for any further introduction, I would leave it to Mr. Praveen Kumar himself. And now I would like to welcome Mr. Praveen Kumar to the room. So you can take over from here.
Yeah, hi everyone. Am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can I pin my video so that I know? Yeah. So now it is clear, right? So fine. So welcome. Thanks, Bhagesh, for this nice introduction. And then, before I give an intro from my end, we will do some workouts now, right? And then we will go into it, the session, right? Okay. So let's begin the session with some kind of physical workouts, okay? And then we will, when we will settle down, then our session will begin, right? So this is the plan for the day, right? Okay. So okay. So like what we have to do, you have to keep your hands straight like this, and then start rotating your fist like this, okay? And then another direction. So once it is clockwise, and then it is anti-clockwise, okay? So you have to stand up and then you have to start doing it, right? Then like this, another direction. Then neck rotation, okay? So once it will be clockwise, and then it will be anti-clockwise, right? So 5 times each side, okay? So 5, then another side. 1. So while doing this workout, you have to do it very slowly, okay? Slowly, so that like all the muscles and nerves which are there in the, in your neck, so that are properly engaged, right? And that is how it is going to give you, uh, you know, um, maximum benefit, right? So it is very necessary, very important to do it very slow. Okay, it should not be like fast. Okay, then we will do this shoulder workout. Okay, so shoulder rotation. So shoulder rotation, it has to be 360 degrees, right? So this is a front rotation. Then we will do the back kind of rotation, right? So this is again, clockwise and then anti-clockwise, right? So basically, what we are doing, like we are engaging all these muscles, all these joints, okay, and we are trying to make them movable and easily movable, right? So this is the idea, okay. So as you see that, this elbows are touching together, okay. So this is how it should be done, and this circle has to be perfect, okay. So you can make the, this 360-degree kind of circle, right? And this is how it should be done. And then like we will do some jumping jacks. Why we are doing this? Because in order to understand our concept, that is rest, sleep, recovery and rejuvenation. So first of all, we will start making our body unrested in terms of our physical, this like when we are sitting down on a chair, then our body is relatively rested, right? And when we stand up, it is in a unrested condition. So we want a maximum unrest to understand the importance of rest, right? So in order to get into that condition, like maximum unrest, so that's the reason we are doing this exercise. So we will do the jumping jacks now, okay. So for jumping jacks, you may have done in your childhood also, right? So you have to raise your hands like this while jumping, and then bring it back. Okay. So we will do it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now we will mix something extra to it, right? So we have to raise our hands like this. Okay. So these are the steps which I'm telling, and then later on we will mix all these stages together, right? All these steps together. So let's start. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Okay. And then what we have to do is that we have to do third one. Okay, so third one wherein we have to clap over our head, right? So this is the third step. Again, we will do 10 times, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Okay, so this is 10, 10, 10 repetitions, right? Okay, so fine. Now what we will do, we will, okay, so some of you have switched on your camera so that I can figure out like how you are working on it. Okay, so now we will mix all this together, right? So for example, what we have to do is 5 repetition of, by mixing all these things, all these 3 stages, right? So for example, what we have to do, one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, so quickly we have to do 5 repetitions of this one. This is one loop, one set, right? So one, two, three, four, five, six. This is one. One, two, three, four, five, six. This is two. One, two, three, four, five, six. This is three. One, two, three, four, five, six. This is four. One, two, three, four, five, six, five. So how's the food? How's the feel now after doing this? How's the feel? Please make it quite interactive and respond. How's the feel?
So
How's
it's
the
a bit
feel?
tiring now, but feeling fresh.
Yeah, Dheeraj is writing it as good. Okay. So how do you feel? Like what is happening with your you? Yeah, warm up is done, right? So basically, this is a warm up. So, like what you will feel right now is that your breathing has become hard, right? And you have started breathing a little bit deep. Okay. At the same time, if you touch your heart here, then you will figure out that it is actually beating hard, right? So you can touch your heart once and feel it, right? So it may have started beating hard. Okay. So and at the same time you have started breathing hard, right? And second thing is this. Okay. And obviously, like you are feeling more energetic now, right? And beating rapid speedily, right? So which means Dheeraj is saying that the heart rate heart is beating speedily, right? Which means that your heart rate has gone up, right? And at the same time, how about your breathing? What has happened with your breathing, Dheeraj? Someone else? Okay. So now what we will do a kind of pranayam. Okay, two kind of pranayam. What we will do? Okay, so please close your eyes and keep yourself comfortable. Okay, so comfortable and easy. Keep yourself very easy at ease, right? And keep your back straight. Keep your back straight. Keep your body very comfortable at a very comfortable stage, and then take a long deep breath in and breathe out. Again, please take a long deep breath in, breathe out. And the last, long deep breathe in. When you take a long deep breath in, so what will happen, essentially what should happen, that your abdominal muscles should come out. Okay, so this is what you can actually feel. Okay, so like yesterday we had discussed about this, that is called abdominal breathing, right? So you have to place your this hands near your lower ribs, and then while breathing you have to breathe in, right? And then you will figure out that you have this stomach is coming out when you breathe correctly in, right? So this is what should happen actually. Okay, so last, long deep breathe in and breathe out. Breathe out means the stomach will go inside, right? So this is what should happen. Okay, and after that usually what we do is that we do bhastrika pranayam. Okay, so for bhastrika you have to close your fist like this. Okay, and put your hands to the side of your body. I will just show you. Yeah, so side of your body, and let your this elbow touch your body side, right? And sit straight. Okay, sit straight, and then sit straight, and then you have to raise your hands up, and then you have to breathe in. Okay, so and while bringing it down you have to exhale, right? Like this. Okay, and this is what we have to do it 20 times. Okay, 20 times. So let's start this. So you make this position correct. Okay, and then let's begin with this 20 times. Okay, I will give you the counting, right? So let's close our eyes and focus on our breathing. Okay, and then with breathe in, up, and down, breathe out, right? So this is one repetition. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And after that, again, you have to close your eyes and take a long, deep breath in. Okay, so long, deep breath in. So when you will take a correct long, deep breath in, even you won't be able to hear your voice of your breathe. Okay, so this would be like that. Okay, and the same thing what I mentioned earlier also, like you will feel that your ab muscle are coming out. Okay, so you have to place your fingers like this. Okay, on the lower ribs. Okay, in front of your body, and then you have to take a long deep breath in and breathe out. Again, long deep breath in and breathe out. And then you have to sit comfortably, easily, right? Keep your back straight. Keep your back straight and keep your hands like this in this position on your lap, right? And then you have to focus on your breathing, right? You have to focus on your breathing. And then you'll figure out that there are many thoughts are crossing your brain, right? Crossing your mind. Okay, so thoughts, as you are aware, like these are kind of clouds which are actually here and there, they are traveling, right? And then actually you should not actually register, you should actually acknowledge those thoughts, but you neither accept those thoughts nor reject those thoughts, right? And keep your eyes closed and keep yourself comfortable. Okay, keep breathing. Okay, keep breathing. Okay, focus on your breathe. Focus on your breathe, right? Focus on your breathe, and then focus on your complete body part from head to toe. So, for example, you have to focus on your legs, right? So, whether your legs are comfortable or not. So, if they are not comfortable, then you have to adjust yourself and make your leg muscles comfortable, right? Make the leg muscles comfortable, then move upwards and make your stomach muscles and mid body part muscles also at ease, and then focus on your shoulder. Shoulder muscles will be, relaxed, and then your hand muscles, right? So your hand muscles should also be at rest and at peace, right? So everything, your complete existence should be, at peace, at rest, right? And then you focus on your face muscles, right? So facial muscles should also be relaxed and at peace. And while doing all this activity, you have to focus on your breathing. Keep a focus on your breathing, right? So when you have a complete, attention and focus on your breathing, and your body is completely relaxed, then you try to hear the voice which is there. Like for example, for you, my voice is there, right? So you have to focus on that voice, and then accordingly you can focus the voice which is available in the surrounding. For example, there may be, the fan which is running around in the vicinity, right? And so listen to that sound of the air which is coming through the fan. Similarly, there may be any, vehicle which is going around, right? So you have to focus on the noise which is coming from that. Just now you got a voice from computer, so that also you can register. Okay, and then keep focusing, and then take a long deep breath in and breathe out. Again, take a long deep breath in and breathe out. Take a last long deep breath in and breathe out. Then now you start focusing on the surrounding where you are sitting, and now slowly and gradually you can open your eyes, right? So you have to do this process very slowly and gradually. So when you are opening your eyes, it has to be slow and gradual process. Okay. So you are coming back in existence now. Okay. So earlier you had made your complete body rested, right? Now you are opening it, right? So how's the feel now after doing this? How's the feel? Why I'm asking, because this is related to our topic today. Okay, and this is all about rest, sleep, rest, recovery, and rejuvenation, right? So basically, what we are trying to do here is, first of all, we are trying to, get into unrest. Okay, so rest is understood only when we understand what is unrest. Okay, okay, so this is how it is related, right? So let's begin the session. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Praveen. I'm Praveen Kumar. So I'm a ultra marathoner. I am a marathoner. Okay, and then like marathon is an event wherein we have to do a 42-kilometer running, right? And ultra marathon is any distance which is beyond that, right? So that may be 50 kilometer, that may be 500 kilometers also, right? So as of now, I have done one event wherein I had crossed 161 kilometers, right? And aside, like Bhagesh has already mentioned, that I'm an obstacle racer as well, which means that I have crossed 15 military level, obstacles during a race of 5 kilometer, right? And then I'm an Ironman triathlete. Okay, so which means that Ironman is an event of international repute, wherein we have to do 180 kilometer of cycling, then 3.9 kilometer of running as swimming in sea swimming, and then 42.195 kilometer of running. So this is what it comprises of, right? So this is the basic introduction, and then I have already done this the medals which you find in the background. You will figure out that these are almost 150 medals are there. So I have done almost 150 plus marathon events, right? So this is basically my introduction part. Okay, and then okay, just a minute, please be online. Yeah. So this is the introduction part. So aside, like I'm a landmark graduate, and I'm an art of living practitioner as well. So I'm an art of living graduate as well, right? So like in the previous sessions we had discussed about the dynamic meditation and the static meditation, right? So wherein in the dynamic meditation, what we have done earlier. Okay, so like the kind of exercises which we have done earlier. So in order to get into the dynamic kind of meditation, so at a certain point of time when you do physical activities, okay, for example, if you are running 100 kilometers, so you reach into a condition wherein you lose sense of your body, right? And then you enter into dynamic kind of meditation. And once you are into dynamic meditation, then it is very easy for you to enter into static meditation. That is what we have experienced in small bits and pieces today, right? Isn't it? So let's make the session quite interactive. Okay, so this is what we have done, right? So initially what we did, like we did physical workouts, right? And we did a number of activities. And then when you start doing this kind of activities, so your body enters into a different mode. Okay, and you can prolong that mode, but provided that in meantime, like you keep your body very relaxed, in a relaxed state, right? And then, like if you're able to keep your body relaxed in a relaxed state during that dynamic action, then you will be able to understand this static meditation much better, right? And at the same time, what will happen, like you will feel the importance of this static meditation in a much better way, right? So this is the idea. So today's topic is all about rest, sleep, recovery, and rejuvenation, right? So like what we have experienced just now, like rest, the importance of rest. Okay, so how important the rest is for us, that we have just now experienced. Like for example, when we did this physical workout, so a number of physical workouts which we have done, so that have made our body unrested, right? And then we had given a small amount of supply of rest. Okay, that is what we can call this meditation, right? So with this small amount of this supply of rest, then we have experienced that we are feeling better now, right? So some of you are already writing that Dheeraj Ghuge is writing like relaxing and concentrate, right? And then Simral is writing that relaxing, right? So why it is relaxing? Because it is a comparative kind of action which we are doing. For example, when we are unrested, then only there is a requirement of rest comes into picture, right? So this is what we understood. Otherwise, when you are sleeping all the time, so you won't feel like you should sleep more, right? So what is the basic need to get into this condition called rest and sleep is like, okay, so like uh, unfiltered team, whom you are saying that kindly turn on your camera. I could not get that. You can unmute in between. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So our today's topic is all about discussion on rest, sleep, recovery, and rejuvenation, right? So an important topic which we will discuss today is what is sleep and what are the sleep points. Okay, so let me actually show you one PPT and then we will take this discussion forward, right? Okay, so this is our topic, that is rest, sleep, recovery, and rejuvenation. Okay, so everything actually means the same. A little bit difference is there, right? So this is what we need to understand, right? And then let's start the session. So welcome all of you, and let's begin the session. And thanks this unfiltered team. Thanks Bhagesh for the introduction part, and welcome all of you for this session on this rest, sleep, recovery, and rejuvenation, right? So what is sleep and what are sleep coins? Okay, so like everything what is actually important for us, that actually we value only one only when we think that this is into monetary terms, right? So for example, the money in your wallet is actually important because it is giving you valuable kind of returns in your life, right? So similarly, what are the sleep coins, like how it is important for you, right? So this is the point of discussion today. So what do you think, like what how much sleep is required? So some of you can actually answer in the chat box. How much do you think that how much sleep is enough for you, right? So feel rested. 8 hours, 7 hours, right? Okay. And 5 6 hours, right? So obviously this is a requirement which is actually unique to all of us. Okay, so we cannot actually say like a standard in a standard terms, like this is the number of hours which is enough for us, right? But how actually basically this is what we need to understand, like how much sleep is required. Okay, so basically someone can also say like whether sleep is required at all or not. Okay, so someone can also say that we do not require sleep. For example, when Buddha was meditated, okay, Gautam Buddha, so he meditated for a couple of days. Okay, so he was into meditation. He could not he did not enter into sleep. So for him, like sleep was not at all required. Okay, this is also what we can say, right? So we cannot even we can say that sleep is not required for us, right? But why it is required and why it should not be required and how much is the actual requirement, this is a point of discussion and consideration, right? So for example, what is the difference between sleep and rest? So this is what we need to understand today, right? So sleep coins, what we understand that these are the number of hours which you spend on your bed, and you think that this is a kind of action which is sleeping, right? So these are the coins. Like for example, for someone like this is 6 hours, for someone this is 7 hours and all that, right? So this is what you can calculate sleep coins. Now The thing is that if you have only 6 hours, and you want to maximize to get the maximum returns out of those 6 hours or 7 hours, so how you are going to get that, right? So this is a basic question which we should actually think about, right? So now let me unpin my video. Yeah. Okay. So this is the basic actually understanding which we should have. Like if we have got only 6 hours or only 5 hours, only 4 hours, then how to maximize the benefit out of it? So that like whenever we are sleeping, like this should give you the maximum amount of recovery or rejuvenation, right? Basically, when we sleep, then why do we sleep? Because in our day to day activities, we are actually doing n number of activities, right? So n number of activities, and our body cells are dying, okay? And then in order to recover that, what we are supposed to do is like we have to sleep and take rest, right? Then like we need to understand like how this sleep coins, like if you have only 4 hours, how it can be improved, right? So this is the idea. So like before getting into that, what we have to understand, what is the importance of sleep, so like why it is required at the first place, right? So what is the importance of sleep, how does it work? So for example, it is required for healthy body and mind, right? So during the sleep time, like our body is repaired, okay? So all the body functions are our body is actually it is kind of body is entering into a garage, okay? So wherein like body is repaired, like whole day whatever we have done wrong or right with the body, and due to that, like our body cells are breaking, right? And then muscles are breaking, right? So those muscles and cells and all these stuffs inside are repaired. And at the same time, what is happening, like our mind, there are n number of neurons which are actually in action during daytime, right? So those neurons are also like jumbled, mumbled kind of, okay? And then they are rearranged, okay, during this time. That is, so this is how it is important for our healthy body and mind, right? Efficient performance, once they are repaired, and this mind neurons and mind waves are actually rearranged, then only you will become efficient, okay? So that is the reason, like the sleep is required, right? Then effectively daily work training, right? So effectively daily working means whatever daily work you are doing, in order to do that also you need sleep, right? So for studies or like home any kind of homework which you are doing, so for that also like sleep is required. Then uncluttered brain, like sometimes like you do not get exact idea like what you are supposed to do, right? At that point of time, like you feel like you are drowsy, right? And you want to sleep. And once you are asleep, then early in the morning that you will figure out that key all these ideas are clear, and what you are supposed to do and what you have to do exactly, that becomes very clear, okay? So sometimes we tend to say like रात का जो है, रात में कभी भी कोई भी चीज सही नहीं होता, right? And then you wake up in the morning and everything gets settled, right? So this is the reason like this sleep is required. And refilling the sponge like body, okay? So the body is actually, our body is kind of a sponge, okay? So sponge, what happens with a sponge, like a sponge contains water, right? So the as long as a sponge is able to contain water and air also, a sponge contains water and air, right? It can contain, right? So as long as it is able to contain those like air and water, it is alive. So similarly our body also contains air and water and a number of things, right? But during the daytime, when we are in action, so what happens, like we lose water, we lose the water content, we lose that this air content maybe. So this kind of losses which happens during the daytime, when you sleep, then automatically this this things gets recovered, okay, and you get these things back, and everything gets settled, okay. So this is the reason, like, for longevity also this sleep is required. So as long as a sponge is actually able to contain the water content and other this like breathing is also a kind of air, okay, so air content and all that, so you can live your life healthy, right? So this is the basic idea. So you should actually refill your sponge like body very often, right? So that is the reason like this sleep is required, right? Okay, so before we get into this thing, like we are about to talk about the sleep stages and all that. So before we get into the sleep, we will discuss about how much sleep is required. Like this is a basic question. Okay, so that is what we were trying to discuss, right? So how much sleep is required? So as I mentioned earlier also, like Gautam Buddha, who has not slept for at least 2 to 3 days also, right? And then also he was able to sustain himself. What happened with him? Like he was into deep meditation, okay. So he was into deep meditation. So what happens during deep meditation? Like your body is stand still, okay. So in the standstill status, like what are the factors which are actually, uh, uh, when you are in action, so what are the things which actually, modulates your body? This is what we need to understand. Like the way today we have done exercises, right? So during this exercise process, what we realize that our breathing has become hard, first thing. And second is, like, our heart rate has started beating fast, right? And then we are in action, right? So and then what happened, like our physical action, okay, our physical action is at a different level, right? So these are the four things which are, at least these are the four things which are changed, okay. So but alternatively, if you think that during the sleep time, what is happening, like all these four things are relatively settled, right? So for example, there is no physical action, so there is a limited amount of breathing which you are taking, right? And then third is, right, your heart rate is also beating a little bit slow, okay. So similarly, your breathing, and these are the things which are actually these factors which we can think about, like it is relatively at ease, right? So these factors are at ease, so that's the reason, like when we sleep, then we feel better, okay. So alternatively, what we can do, like we can go one level below, okay, one level below. Like when we consider, when we think about meditation, so what happens, again our body, our hr is further low, okay. So it is going further low. For example, like during sleep condition, our hr is around 70, okay, or maybe 40, 50, right? And then if you are engaged into a deep kind of meditation, like even the heart is pumping little slow, then what will happen, another, you are entering into kind of a better rested condition, right? So this is the reason, like if you enter into this kind of condition, so what will happen, you can sustain yourself without also, right? So this is the idea. So basically what is required is actually a rested condition of your body, okay. So the better you will feel rested, so better you can actually enjoy your sleep, right? So for example, just imagine this status, like wherein, like whole of the day, whatever actions you are doing, you are actually taking, you are having a complete control of those actions, and you feel rested in doing those actions, right? So it may happen like whenever we are in a happy moment, so what happens, like we feel like the time is passing by, and we do not feel, like tired, right? So we feel better and we feel rested. So obviously, like बोलते हैं कि मतलब प्यार में रातों की नींद उड़ जाती है, right? So which means what, because we are feeling so much better that at the end of the day, like we do not feel like sleeping also, right? So this is what actually what is required is our rested condition of our body, right? So if you are able to keep your body at a rested condition throughout the day, then obviously the quality of your sleep will be improved, right? So this is one important aspect. So how to understand whether we are rested or not? Okay, so this is another question. So like for example, whatever we are doing during the day, how to understand like whether we are agitated in an agitated state, or whether we are in a rested state, right? So this is a basic question. If we are able to answer this, then obviously our sleep quality can be improved, right? So for example, whenever like during the course of the day, like you are coming across various kind of conditions, right? Various kind of actions, right? Various kinds of feelings and emotions, right? So if you are able to understand what state you are there in, right, at that present moment, and if you are able to take control of that moment, so obviously if you are able to take control, then you can actually get into the resting condition, right? So this is if you are completely rested, then what will happen? You will require less amount of sleep. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? Yeah. So basically, so this is the reason, like you may have seen that spiritual gurus, okay, so they are working much harder than us, maybe like they work for at least 22 hours, and they claim that they sleep for only 4 hours. Because why? Because they are into meditative state most of the time, right? And if you are into meditative state, then there is no need to sleep, right? That is the reason Gautam Buddha could not actually could manage without sleeping also, right? So this is one important aspect to be understood, okay, when we discuss about rest and sleep, right? So resting condition is something like which can improve your sleeping pattern, right? So this is very important. So what you're supposed to do is that whatever actions you are taking during the day, so those action has to be centered about around rest, okay. Okay, so another logic which I wanted to talk about from marathon point of view, which I mentioned in this thing also. Like just a minute, I'll just go through this document which I've written long back. Just a minute. Oh no, I think that link is not there. Okay, anyway, I'll discuss just now. So what happens when you are running, right? Or for example, when we have done this exercise, when we settle down on a chair, so what happened? We felt rested, right? Isn't it? So this is a kind of relative rest, okay. So we felt rested because we are sitting now and we are settled, and then we feel rested to talk about anything and to discuss about anything, and our heart rate is relatively in control now, right? So similar thing can happen during running also, right? So I'll always give you examples from running point of view, okay. So for example, if a person is running at say 20 kilometer per hour, so that is a record, like 42 kilometer per hour marathon record is, right? Like people have finished within 2 hours, okay. So that means like people can run at 20 kilometer per hour, means in 1 hour they can reach 20 kilometers, okay. So obviously they cannot continue to run at that speed for a longer period of time, so they cannot sustain the same pace at a longer for a longer duration, like for 3 hours, 4 hours and all that, right? But the thing is that if they reduce their speed from for example, like from 20 kilometer hours to maybe 16 kilometer hours per hours, right? That is also quite high if we compared from our means limitations, right? We cannot run at 16 kilometer per hour even, right? So what is happening, like they will feel rested, isn't it? So relatively for a person who is running at 20 kilometer per hour, this is lower. So this is what he's rested, okay. So he can continue at this pace for a longer period of time, isn't it? Does it make sense? we wanted the session to be interactive. So like if there is a disconnect, then you can actually unmute yourself and talk about that. But at the same time, like, you can use this chat box and keep sharing your views, right? So what I'm saying, like, if any person is able to run at 20 kilometer per hour, okay, and if he's reducing his pace and he's running at 16 kilometer per hour, so don't you think that it's a kind of rested kind of running, isn't it? Does it make sense? So some of you can reply here. Yeah. Good, Simral. So this is what happens. So similarly, what you may have experienced, I'm giving you a walking example, right? For example, when you are walking, okay, and all of a sudden, like, you settle down and sit somewhere, then you feel relaxed, okay, and then you are able to walk more, right? So later on, this is a kind of rested condition. So even though you have not slept, but you felt better because you have settled somewhere, right? And then what happens? Your HR is, HR is going down, your breathing is under control, and your physical action is limited, right? So this is the same thing can be applicable for sleep also, right? So if you are able to keep your body rested during the daytime, then you can reduce the amount of sleep which you need, okay, and at the same time you can improve the quality of sleep as well, right? This is the idea. Does it make sense? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is what is required. So what we need to do is, first action point is obviously, like, we have to keep ourselves rested. Okay, and second point is obviously we have to do something which improves quality of our sleep. Okay, and third thing is that, like, we can obviously engage, several kind of meditation shots during the day. Like, we have the tequila shots, right? When we party, then we take tequila shots, right? So similarly, if we can actually have meditation shots, which is like 5 minutes of break, and then you engage into some kind of deep meditation, then obviously your body is recovered. Okay, and to start with that, right? So when your body comes down to zero level, then only you can start it from there, right? And then it is a new kind of beginning from there, right? So this is how it is very important to have those kind of meditation breaks between during the day. Okay, so this is one thing, and there are several other things what you can do. Okay, so now coming back to the topic, this is all about understanding about the sleep coins. Like, if you have 4 hours of sleep coin, so what does that mean? How to utilize that 4 hours at the maximum, with the maximum output. Okay, so this is how it is. So if you are able to reduce that, so obviously it is going to help you for to take up other things better in life, right? Right. So now I'm presenting the screen once again. Okay, so first of all, what we need to understand, what are the parts of this sleep? Okay, so what are the parts of the sleep? This is what we are going to discuss about now. Okay, so first is the stages. When we enter into sleep, then what happens with our body? So first of all, we enter into stage one, that is wakefulness to sleep. So obviously it is like our body is also like a car, or we can say, like, for example, when we start the car, so what happens? It is moving into, you know moving into speed little by little. Okay, so it gradually starts catching speed, right? And then we press that accelerator, right? And then it enters into this thing, like motion, right? So similarly, during sleep also, what happens? This enters into different kind of stages, right? So that is, first stage is like, this is called non-REM. So that is called non rapid eye movement. Okay, So wherein our this is a wakefulness to sleep. This is also called wakefulness to sleep, right? During this short period of relatively light sleep, your heartbeat, your breathing and eye movements slow, and your muscle relax with occasional twitches. Okay, so you will feel like you are doing this kind of activities during that period of time. Okay, so you will stretch a little bit. Your brain waves will begin to slow from their daytime wakefulness patterns, right? So what will happen, your brain waves will start settling down. Okay, little by little. Okay, so this is the REM sleep. Okay, so this is this is non REM sleep. So this is non rapid eye movement sleep, right? Then we have a light sleep. Okay, so light sleep is a moment wherein you enter deeper sleep. So obviously the vehicle which you have started moving, so it is into gear 2. Okay, so similarly this is also into gear 2 now. Okay, so like this is also a, like driving a car. So you when you are driving a car, so it is gradually taking momentum, right? So similarly in this case what is happening, it is just going reverse manner, in a reverse manner. So you are entering into deep kind of sleep now when you enter into different kind of stages, right? So this is a stage 2 wherein you enter into light sleep, right? So light sleep means your heartbeat and breathing slow. This is what we discussed, right? So everything starts slowing down. Okay, so heartbeat and your breathing becomes slow. Okay, and muscles relax even further. So you feel relaxed. Okay, so this is what we have done during this meditation time, right? So this is basically what we have done. This is stage 2 of sleep, what we have done during wakefulness time, right? So this is, does it make sense? Are you able to correlate? Are you able to correlate how we have done the same thing just now in this during this start of the session, right? Simral, is it right? Dheeraj? Yeah, so this is what we have done, but we are actually conscious about that, right? So we have done with our eyes closed and with our senses, understanding of our senses, right? We try to bring our heart rate down. Okay, and then breathing also relatively at ease. Okay, so this is how we enter into light sleep, that is stage 2. Then we have deep sleep. So this is actually the sleep, actual sleep. Okay, so during this stage what happens, you feel refreshed. Okay, your body is completely refreshed after a proper kind of deep sleep, right? And it occurs in a longer periods during the first half of the night. Okay, so like your heartbeat and breathing again slows down at its slowest level. Okay, your muscles are relaxed and it may be difficult to awaken you. So this is where we actually try to enter. Okay, so this is what we can correlate with deep meditation actually, right? So when we enter into a deep meditative state, so what is happening, like even though we are aware what is happening around us, then also like we are completely rested. Okay, and when we are completely rested means what, like the requirement of actual sleep, what we say like a night, is reduced. Okay, so during the daytime also, if you are able to achieve this third stage, so this is more than enough for you. Okay, and then the amount of sleep coins what you need to use is less, right? And this is the last stage. Okay, so this is actually deep sleep is a very you know short period of time. It happens only for say 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something like that, less than that, right? And then there is a REM sleep. Okay, so what is the REM sleep? So REM sleep is your eyes starts moving rapidly from side to side behind closed eyelids, right? So your eyes will start moving like this, and this is the time where dreams happens. Okay, and your breathing becomes faster and irregular, and your heart rate and blood pressure increases to near waking level. So this is the last stage when you are again waking up, right? So most of your dreaming occurs during REM sleep only, right? Although some so this is how it is. So basically this is what we understood, right? So what we understood just now is that there are four stages of this sleep, right? So first stage, obviously, like you are entering into sleep state, right? And then obviously it is like you can actually take an analogy from this driving a car, right? So what happens when you start driving a car? So what happens, the amount of gas and the amount of this thing like this what do you say, like changing of the gear, it happens means relatively, like if you are on number one gear, so you are pressing accelerator little slow, right? And as you move into second number, then it is you are pressing hard, right? So you are entering into deep sleep. So when you press that, like a fourth gear, and then you are at say like 120 kilometer per hour, 120 kilometer per hour speed, right? So this is how you are actually driving the car, right? And then at certain point of time you stop it. So the reverse of the same thing happens during the sleep, right? So for example, when you enter into the sleeping mode, so what happens, you try to settle down your body parts, so automatically the system starts settling down all the body parts, and it starts relaxing your body parts, right? And then gradually what will happen, your breathing, the way we have experienced just now in the beginning of the session, like your breathing will be a little bit relaxed, and what will happen, your heart rate will also get relaxed, okay? And gradually during the deep sleep, what will happen again, your breathing will be at the lowest, lowest speed, what you can say, like it will be light, very light. And the similarly, like your heart rate again will be at the slowest this thing slowest beat, right? So this is what happens. And when it is time of wakefulness, then again the you will again the this breathing will be harder, right? And then your heart rate again will start rising, right? So this is what happens. So this is how we can understand, this is a pattern which our body follows, okay? So what also you can notice that there are only two things which are varying, right? So for example, first is your heartbeat, and second is your breathing, right? So these are the two things. If you are able to take charge of these two factors during the daytime, so don't you think so that your sleeping pattern can be improved, and you are able to utilize your sleep points much better? Do you agree with this? So yeah, my question is like, if you are able to take charge of your breathing first, and then if you are able to take charge of your heartbeat, so don't you think so that you are able to actually enjoy your sleep much better, and your sleep requirement can be reduced, right? Correct. So Simral is saying yes, right? So this is what happens during the daytime. Like if you are able to take charge of these two factors, and even during the activities, okay, okay. I have one doubt, that on which direction we should sleep, on left or right? Okay. So this is a good question actually, Dheeraj. So basically, see, if you think about the sleeping since your birth, okay, so you can correlate with it with your birth also, okay. So when a child is there inside the womb, so how he sleeps? He sleeps one side, okay. So he sleeps one side, okay. So he sleeps one side, and later on, when he grows up, then he sleeps straight, okay, like this, okay. He starts sleeping like this. So this is called supine position, okay, in sleeping. And this is called prone position, okay. So when you sleep like this, then this is called supine position, okay. And when you sleep like this is called prone position, okay. So you should actually see, if I answer in one line, then you should sleep like childlike. Okay, sleep the way a child sleep. Okay, child sleep with less of the worries. Okay, and without any issue. Okay, so he can actually turn any side and he can sleep better, right? But the thing is that now your question is whether we should sleep left or right or something like that, right? So basically, see, it all depends on your body, body condition. Like if I advise any person who is fat, and if I advise him to sleep like this supine position, this a prone position, so will he be able to sleep? Because obviously, like, he won't feel comfortable to sleep on his stomach, right? So he has to sleep on prone position only, right? But this sorry, supine position only. But this prone position has got it other benefits. Like when he's sleeping like this, then there are many things which are happening which will help him to enter into get more healthy benefits. Okay, so I will share a document on it. Okay, so how you will understand, like, so in nutshell, what we can say, the way you feel most comfortable, that is the ideal direction. So there is no left, there is no right. It depends on your body type, right? So the way you feel comfortable. So for me, if you ask me, then what I do, I sleep like this. Okay, most of the time. So there is supine position. But when I wake up early in the morning, 3 o'clock, then I feel I sleep like this. Okay, in prone position. So both of these positions has got its benefits, right? So that you will realize. Okay, so once you start experimenting with this, then you will realize that this positions has its own benefits. So you can sleep in like whatever you are comfortable with, right? Okay, is it have I answered your question? Anything else, Dheeraj? Dheeraj, are you there? Is it clear? Yeah. So basically, whatever you feel comfortable, and important is what, the quality of sleep should be better, right? So this is how it is. Okay. So now, what are the factors which actually affects your sleep, right? So this is what we are going to discuss now. Okay. Okay. Factors affecting sleep. So obviously, during the sleep time, like if you are taking care of these factors, so obviously you are going to have a good sleep. Okay, no, the factors, yeah, factors affecting sleep. So what are the factors affecting sleep? Is first obviously stress. Stress means what? Your heart rate is going up, okay, and your breathing is elevated. So it is just a reverse of the sleeping pattern. So wherein in sleeping, what is happening? You try to control your breathing, and you try to have a keep the heart rate also low. So obviously this stress, the day-to-day stress is affecting your sleep, right? So you have to actually take care of that. So how to take care? Obviously, like, this is the simple example which I told you. Like, you have to take charge of the outside conditions and take control on the stress, right? So this is how you can control this stress, and later on it will improve your sleeping, right? So similarly, dinner time, right? So for example, if you have taken a dinner at say 9 o'clock, and if you're trying to attempt for a sleep at 10 o'clock, so obviously you won't be feeling better to sleep, because dinner takes time for digestion, right? So, and there are gases which are due to the dinner which you had, right? So obviously you should have a light dinner, and that is the reason, like, it is prescribed to have dinner before sunset. Okay, so this is the ideal thing which should happen, right? And once this dinner is properly digested, then only you can sleep better. Otherwise your sleep will be disturbed, because dinner is also somehow affecting your the two things. What two things again? The breathing and your heart rate. So if you are having some dinner which your body is unable to digest properly, so your heart rate will go up, right? And you will feel unease. Unease means not at ease. Unease means also unrested, right?
So unrested means you will require extra amount of sleep. So this is what happens, right? So extra amount of sleep is required, right? So similarly, resting heart rate is also affecting your sleep, right? So for example, if you are able to keep yourself rested throughout the day, so obviously the resting heart rate, how do we measure? We measure with this watch. Okay, that is a, this is a, you know, watch which measures your uh, heart rate. Okay, so here it reflects heart rate. Okay, so like when you wake up early in the morning and then you check your watch, optical, this is called optical HR monitor. Okay, so like you check, and if it is below like 50 or 45, then you can have a better sleep, because already your body is rested condition, so it will require less amount of sleep, right? So this is another thing. And what also I mentioned is meditation. So you should have, if you have meditated a lot during the daytime, or maybe you have taken a meditation short, what we say, what I call during the daytime, so obviously the sleep requirement can be reduced, right? So similarly, water intake. Okay, if you have taken more amount of water during night time, so obviously you will have an urge to visit to loo, right? And then your sleep will be disturbed. So amount of water what you should have during the night time, that is also important, which will affect your sleep, right? And then obviously soothing music, if you can actually, you know, do some kind of meditation music you can play during the sleep time, so obviously your sleep quality can be improved, right? And then obviously this is a major problem nowadays, and that I have come across, because I'm a runner and I run every day 20 kilometers minimum, and last month I've done, you know, around 750 kilometers. Okay, so I wake up at 3 o'clock, and then I visit to loo, and then obviously early in the morning, what we do, we check our mobile phone, right? So once you are into mobile dunia, mobile world, so your sleep is all everything is disturbed about sleep, right? Because of this mobile, first is the light which is coming through the mobile, so obviously there is, second thing is the, you are checking the messages, right? So what happens, your you know, your brain starts working. Okay, and this is the reason, these are the reasons which actually affects your sleeping pattern, right? So what is advisable, that you should avoid any kind of electronic gadgets during your sleeping area, right? So this is very important. Okay, so similarly, like there should be a dark curtain, because our body is habitual of sleeping in dark condition. Okay, so obviously when we get a light, so what we feel like, we are activated, we are in action, right? So in order to sleep better, what we should do, that we should reduce the amount of light which is falling on our eyes, right? So this is another thing. And then obviously like we should definitely avoid any kind of night workout. Why? Because our heart rate is again going up, and we are actually during the sleep time we are trying to bring it down, right? So if it is again going up, then what will happen, you will feel discomfort. So avoid nighttime workout. So now this is a fashion nowadays, like you may have seen that people are going for night kind of workout and all that. So that can also affect your sleeping habit, right? So that is not actually advisable, right? So these are the things which are there, which can affect your sleeping. Okay, so any questions as of now? Any questions, any queries, or can I move ahead? Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm going ahead with the next slide. That is you know we're talking about the sleeping disorders, right? So what happens if you have not followed the guidelines properly, like if you have not rested, if you have not kept your body rested, and if you are unable to sleep, so these are the disorders which you may face, right? So first is insomnia, right? In which you have a difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep throughout the night, right? So this is one thing. Okay, so you won't feel like sleeping. Okay, and at the same time you want to sleep but you cannot sleep. Unfortunately, this has not happened with me, yeah, because I'm a marathoner and I'm an athlete. So the moment I hit the bed, I sleep. Okay, so I do not actually understood this concept, how does it happen. But as per this, I had googled this and I have figured out, like I had attended several webinars also on sleeping. So I could figure out this is the kind of disorder people are facing, right? So this is insomnia, right? And then we have sleep apnea, okay, in which you experience abdominal patterns in breathing while you are asleep. Okay, so this is another disorder, common sleep disorder. And then restless leg syndrome. Okay, so wherein you feel restless, your legs are restless during the sleeping time. So this is another thing which you may face, a type of sleep movement disorder. Restless leg syndrome uh, causes an uncomfortable sensation and an urge to move the legs while you try to fall asleep, right? So like this may happen because because your body is not rested, and you may have done some kind of workout which have completely made you tired, okay, during the course of the day. Then you feel your legs are unrested, okay, and you keep moving your legs, okay, during the night time. So this is what happens, okay. And then the last thing is like narcolepsy. So in this condition, extreme sleepiness during the day and falling asleep suddenly during the day. Okay, so this is what happens. Like, for example, during the day itself, like you fall asleep. Okay, and then obviously, like as I mentioned, that rest and sleep are interconnected. So if your body is, if you are taking rest during the day, so obviously you won't feel sleepy during the night. Okay, so this is a kind of balance which is created between sleep and rest, right? So this is how it is, right? So now, how to reboot your sleep? This is a major question. So before going ahead with that topic, so like we have discussed like how to reboot, so I would like to ask you only, like how, if you want to actually improve on your sleeping, so what you are going to do. So this is a action point for you, right? So what you would do, like Simral, if you want to, have a good kind of sleep. So what are the action points, actions which you are going to take on the basis of the discussion which we had done just now? You can, people, you can unmute yourself, and then you can talk and make this session interactive. Okay. Yeah, wonderful. So like you people are answering. So Mr. D'Souza is saying that early dinner, right? Similarly, what else? Similar, Dheeraj, you people are quite active here in the chat, right? So I wanted to hear from you, like what are the actions which you are going to take if you want to improve your sleep. Onkar, yeah, light dinner. So only खाने पीने के ऊपर ही focus. Something more. We want something more. So basically, technically, what we discussed. So again, I would like to highlight those same things. So what you have to do is exactly like focus is obviously on the light dinner. Okay, avoid mobile and TV, obviously, because those things like my kid is 7 years old. Okay, so whenever he is watching any, kids are watching always action movies, right? So action movies, whenever he's watching any action movies, the same movie actually comes into his dreams, right? And same thing he discusses with me in the morning, right? So this is what happens. So during night time, if you are having this kind of movies and all that, so obviously it will affect your sleep, right? So this is also a general conception, like if you got stuck in any kind of problems, right? So early in the morning you get a solution also when you are able to sleep properly, right? So you sleep with the problem and you get up with the solution, right? This can also be a possibility, right? But for that you should have a good amount of good kind of sleep, right? What is required? Okay, so for good kind of sleep, what is technical thing which we have discussed, you people have missed, I think. So first thing is that what you missed is, like, obviously a good kind of workout is required. Okay, so why it is required? Because it is elevating your heart rate. Okay, and it is creating a requirement for sleep, right? It is making you unrested, and then only you can engage into better kind of sleep, right? So obviously, like, your heart rate and your breathing. Okay, so if you are able to take a control on those factors, then obviously you are going to engage into a good kind of sleep, right? So this is one important factor, that you should engage yourself into physical workout. Like just now we have faced during this beginning of the session, right? Like what we faced, like when we did this workouts in the very beginning, and then when we settled for this thing for meditation, then we felt better, right? So this is how we understand. And now many people say that we do not have time. Okay, so the time calculation, actually, see, what we can do alternatively is like this. Like if usually we are sleeping 8 hours, okay, so you deduct 1 hour from that. Okay, only 1 hour, and you make it 7 hours. Okay, you sleep for 7 hours. 1 hour of time which you are saving, that you have to devote for workout, right? And with this 1 hour of workout, what will happen? Your 7 hours which you have actually, which you are sleeping, that become better. Okay, and you can manage with only 6 hours, because your sleeping pattern has improved, right? And your sleep quality has improved. So by investing 1 hours, actually what you are doing, you are saving 2 hours, because you are able to do this the same, you are able to rejuvenate your body and recover your body just with the sleep of 6 hours, with the new addition of 1 hour of workout. Okay, so this is how it will work. So this is a kind of catch 22. So like you are actually thinking that you do not have time, but rather you are wasting your time on sleeping. Most of the people are wasting their time in sleeping. Okay, so if you are able to reduce that sleeping time and make it more meaningful, and make it more deep sleep. So what is requirement is deep sleep. Okay, so if you are able to sleep better, then obviously you are going to save some time. Okay, and the same time can be engaged into this thing, workout, right? So this is the one aspect. Like you have to focus on your exercise, right? So in order to reboot your sleeping, so obviously you have to focus on your workout, right? So you have to engage into some kind of physical workout first. Then obviously second is you have to focus on your breathing and your heart rate. So like the moment you are angry, so what happens with your heart rate and breathing? Like you start breathing hard, right? So at that point of time, what you have to do, that you have to sit relaxed and take a long deep breathing and breathe out. You will feel rested, right? And if you are feeling rested, then obviously the sleep quality will be improved, right? So similarly, like when you can have meditation short in order to improve your sleeping, right? Meditation shorts means what? Like you are trying to make yourself rested, right? So these are the things. And then obviously, like you have to switch off your mobile and any LEDs, okay, which are emitting lights in your sleeping area, right? And obviously you have to switch off your phone, and then you have to switch off your this thing, lights and curtains. Yeah, you should have a curtain, thick curtain, which is avoiding any kind of light interruption, right? And then obviously you can play some kind of music and all that, right? And this is very important to reboot your sleep, because the sleep is something, what we have discussed as of now is rest and sleep, right? So we can we have this other things which is called recovery and rejuvenation. So recovery and rejuvenation means during the sleep time only, like your body is repaired. And what we discussed earlier is like our body is a kind of sponge. Sponge means what? Like it can actually lose your lose its the contents which are there, which are actually good contents in the sponge, right? So in order to refill it, what we need is a good amount of sleep. Okay, good amount of sleep will actually recover that sponge, okay, and refill it with the contents which are required into it, right? So this is how it works to rejuvenate yourself, right? So sleep is very important. Rest and sleep is very important in order to recover and rejuvenate. Rejuvenate means you have to bring back. It is actually bringing yourself back to life. Okay. So how to come back to life? So like how to come back? So once you touch something which is similar to death, then only you will come back to life. So sleeping, you should sleep actually death like. Okay, like whenever you are sleeping, you should feel like you are dead, right? And early in the morning you are getting a new kind of life, right? So this is the actually what we are looking for, a new life for you, right? Correct. Through sleeping only, sleeping, rest and recovery, right? So any questions as of now? So this is the closing statement. We wanted to have a we wanted to have a brand new life every day early in the morning, right? After a death like sleep, right?
Yes, sir, it was a very valuable session so far.
Yeah. So any questions, Bhagesh, which is left unanswered as of now? So this is the
Dheeraj has
Hmm.
said that so hormones also play a role in sleep.
Sorry.
Dheeraj has said that hormones also play a role in sleep.
Okay.
Have you covered that?
Yeah, hormone. I don't have any clue about that, but I will get back to you. But basically, see, the thing is that obviously hormones are. I'm doubtful about the hormones, but definitely I can talk about the waves which are actually helping us to sleep better. Okay, so when we enter into this meditation, so obviously our brain waves are actually settled, okay, and we are entering into, our brain is entering into alpha mode, right? This is what we understood, right? And similarly, like our brain actually, the brain waves start settling down. So as we understand, like when we work on any computer, so when we shut down the computer, what happens? All this circuits are dead, okay, all the circuits are dead and everything is settled, okay, and electricity is zero, right? So same thing can happen with our brain during the sleep time, okay. So all the electric signals which are passing through neurons, everything is settled, okay, and this is actually shut down completely. So the more you are able to shut down those electric signals which are passing through, the better you can have a sleep, right? So this is the idea actually. So hormones, about the hormones during the daytime, see, hormones, if we try to correlate with the hormones during the daytime when we exercise, then obviously the feel good hormones are actually starts taking power of our body, right, our mind, right? So those things are actually good for our body and for our sleep during night time, right? So this is what can be a answer for that, right? So if you have Dheeraj, did you have you attended that session on dynamic meditation? Oh, so what we discussed that during that workout time, what happens? There are stress releasing hormones which starts flowing, okay, inside our body, right? So once this hormones are, these are the feel good hormones, okay. So if our body is relatively less in a stressful condition during the daytime, so obviously what we discussed just now is like we will have a better kind of sleep during night time, right? Yeah. Any other question? Okay, I just Googled and figured out that sleep hormones are cortisol and melatonin are the two main hormones that regulate our sleeping pattern. Cortisol is often known as a stress hormone, right? This is what I correlated just now, right? As a stress hormone, and it is produced by adrenal glands, right? So the thing is that these hormones are released. Okay, so but in order to control these hormones, what we are supposed to do, that we have to do some kind of workout. Okay, so during the daytime, if we are engaging into some kind of running or some kind of workout, so obviously these hormones are actually taken care of during the daytime, right? So this is how correlated with the running and all that workout, so which is going to actually help us for a better kind of sleep, right? Got it? Dheeraj? Nice question. It was a good question, and I tried to correlate. Like this is how it was, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Any more questions are there? So I feel so. Let's conclude now.
Yeah. So conclusion is the last statement which I gave. So what I would like to reiterate the same thing is like uh, actually we need to have a brand new life every day. For that, what we are supposed to do is like we need to engage into death like sleep, right? This is how it is.
Yes. So concluding, I will actually thank Mr. Praveen sir for giving such a valuable lesson today, and I hope everyone has learned something or another. And I will thank all the audience who stayed till the end and heard everything. Uh, and just one note: all the certificates and the PDF for the combo members will be sent in 4 to 5 days. And to attend more regular sessions of Praveen Kumar, stay on the group. We'll keep informing about the regular sessions. And the next season, I feel, will be in the end of August. So stay tuned, and all the details will be sent on the group. If any queries besides this, you can personally message Praveen Kumar, or you can message on the group, and sir will handle it. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Unfiltered team. Thank you, all the audience which are there. And I think this was a engaged session now today. And definitely, I think you will have a better sleep tonight. Good night.